Welcome to the Investor Empowerment Series radio show, empowering your real estate investing with techniques, opportunities, and information, minus the BS and sales pitches. Now, please welcome the host of the Investor Empowerment Series, Joe Mueller, from the Tough as Nails Investment Syndicate. Joe Mueller.
Welcome back to the Investor Empowerment Series radio show, episode 63. Thanks again for being a loyal listener to the podcast. I know things have been a little slow lately as far as getting guests on board and whatnot. I've been very busy working on several projects right now. And, I'm not going to make excuses because that's exactly what I'm doing, but I just wanted to keep this going, try to get something out every week. And honestly, this is another good episode just to review a deal. So last week's episode was another quote-unquote deal of the day regarding a possible owner finance, seller finance type flip opportunity for the investors out there that listen to the podcast. I'm not going to rehash the details. If you're interested in hearing that podcast, it was the episode number 62 of the Investor Empowerment Series radio show. And in a nutshell, I can't get out. In a nutshell, it was about a property in Lindenhurst, which is a northern suburb of Chicago, that we were able to work with the owner on, do some creative type financing situation, and offer up as a flip project to an investor on like it was flexible, but a 6 to 9 month term with a $40,000 cash down payment plus $1,500 a month in monthly payments towards that quote unquote loan, and then the investor would be responsible for the cost of the rehab of that property. Total all in for the purchase price would have been $120,000, and then the ARV on it was around 180, give or take a little bit there. And it really didn't need that much work, but that said, thank you again to our loyal listeners, because that property ended up selling, I believe, 2 days after the podcast aired, which was last Wednesday, October, what would that be, the 4th, maybe? I don't know. I think today's the 11th, so yeah, the 4th. And we actually ended up selling it for cash for asking price. So just goes to show you guys out there, I know there's a lot of speculation and, curiosity on what happens to these properties that either I talk about or what goes on with the market. Right now, I'll be honest, as a broker, as an investor, it seemed like September was like there was some type of a lull going on. I saw a lot of properties hitting the market at lower than usual pricing, staying on the market longer than I thought they should have, starting to encourage, my deals that I've got going on, like, okay, we're going to have to reduce pricing on some of this stuff because the competition is coming out lower than what we anticipated, which is somewhat normal, I would guess, towards the fall and winter of the year for the Chicagoland area. But that said, October rolls around and things change again. Now there's a bunch of property that is selling for, multiple offer situations are back again. For the fix and flippers that are out there that are putting their properties on the market, they're selling at asking, sometimes above. There's still, it's a great time to buy because there's still a lot of great deals out there on the market. And again, maybe this one I gave as an example in episode number 62 being one of them, because that ended up selling it to a cash investor for full asking price of $120,000. We were offering this seller financed opportunity, which I thought would be so cool for one of our listeners to take advantage of and jump on and be like, yeah, I don't have good credit, or I don't have the full amount in cash, or I can't get a loan, whatever the situation is. I only have I'm going to partner with whoever. And, we did solicit a bunch of interest to that seller financed opportunity, but in the end, one of the investors just offered full price in cash. So, all right, let's sign on the dotted line and make it work. So that one's going to be closing here in a couple weeks. That said, I'm bringing to the table tonight another opportunity for you guys. So if you're out there interested in buying, contact me. If you need help with financing or finding a loan for a rehab property or rental, contact me. I've got connections in, and I'm not going to blow up my head any more than how big everybody knows me, whatever. I'm a pretty humble guy, but at the same time, I'm helping investors build portfolios and create fix and flip businesses. My team here at Tanis Group, shout out to Chris Davis and Doug Kowalewski and Rich Joseph and George Delgado, and the list goes on. And I hope not to offend anyone who I didn't include, but our team at Tanis Group Realty, we're focused on creating opportunities for other investors by watching the market, studying what's going on in different areas, and taking that information and bringing it to the client and saying, hey, this is a good opportunity, and here's why. And we cannot control or dictate what happens on the timeline after you purchase a property or what type of money you spend on fixing it up, but we can tell you, here's what the numbers and the data are telling us. This is a good idea. This is a good opportunity. Everything I broadcast on the podcast and everything that I broadcast at my meetup groups, everything I put out there on the interweb and social media, and I said that on purpose, social media, everything I put out there through Spaceface or Twitter, whatever, it's out there in a way that's already been vetted. It's set for pricing that I know is going to make some money. And I'm going to go back in time a little bit. I know we're going to cover this as soon as this property sells. But we had a property for sale at, in Algonquin on Dennis Avenue. And I say myself, Dan, and Cheryl, the wholesale team that we work on with these investment properties and put out there to you guys. This property, we held a huge meetup. We had like a blowout summer barbecue. We had a bunch of interest from investors when it was off market. We had 80 people or so show up to this summer meetup barbecue at this property with the intention of utilizing it as, not only a location to have a barbecue, but also to market it to the potential attendees. And I don't remember what our asking price was at the time. I think it was around $100,000. And this property's ARV was around, I pegged it around 190. Maybe I'm going to be called a liar here in a couple months when the guy that bought it for $110,000 puts it back on the market. I'm anxiously awaiting to find out what price he gets for that house. But the point of me even bringing that up is, anything I broadcast out there in any capacity, it's because I've researched it. Our team here has researched it. Dan and Cheryl, the guys and gals I partner with to bring you these opportunities, we've all collaborated our brains together in our years of experience and said, okay, this is what we think people should pay for this property based on how much we think the repair amounts are going to be and based on how much we think that after repaired value is going to be. So no BS here, straight up shooter here. I just want to make that clear. So tonight we're going to talk about another opportunity in Palatine. I know some of you who listen to this podcast, I'm not going to name drop here, even though I name dropped earlier, have already viewed this property, and we are soliciting some interest. But in the name of good faith of making some money in real estate, I need to broadcast it out there and let the listeners hear about this property in Palatine. So for those of you who don't do any business in Illinois or have no idea how Chicago works or where Palatine is, I apologize. Let's just talk the numbers then, but you're going to have to give me a minute. As Palatine is one of the great communities in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, great school districts, great neighborhoods, low crime, great economy, good nightlife. I mean, it's got all the boxes checked for a young or not even young, a family to live in. This community's been around for over 100 years. It's got a populace of around 80,000. It's got good market value. It's got great rental rates. It's a great area. So this particular property is in the Fremd High School District, which is one of the top school districts in Illinois, and it's located within a few blocks of the downtown area, which offers kind of like the nightlife and shopping and things like that. And it's also in an area that has a bunch of new construction going on. And when I say that, it's more like knock down the old house and build up a big McMansion type situation. So if you're interested in something like that, stay tuned because we're going to continue to talk about it. Tonight's podcast is sponsored by Priority One Mortgage. Priority One Mortgage is the investor-friendly mortgage, a new company based out of the Chicagoland area that is focused heavily on providing financial and financing opportunities for investors. Some of these programs include low credit scores down to 500 credit score and 10% down. 1 year seasoning on bankruptcy, short sale, and foreclosures, as long as you have a 620 credit score currently, as well as some other investor programs for cash out. One of their programs is called Delayed Financing, which is a 30-day refinance, no seasoning program where you can actually cash out your original investment and cost, not the cost of your repairs, but the original purchase price plus the cost of purchase within 30 days. There's some great opportunities through Priority One Mortgage out there right now. They're a young company, they're eager, and they're ready to help everyone that calls them and contacts them. If you're interested in learning more about what type of financing and leverage you can obtain as an investor, you can visit www.p1mc.com, and that's the letter P, the number 1, mc.com. Or you can call Gary at the office at 847-717-9005. Make sure you tell him Joe sent you, Joe Mueller. Make sure you tell him Joe sent you, 847-717-9005. Thanks again, and if you have any more questions about what they offer or have more curiosities on what other types of loan programs are out there that are maybe a little more non-traditional, I can help guide you down that path as well. All right, back to our show. So, thanks for that little plug for our new sponsor with Priority One Mortgage, by the way. Thanks, Gary and the team over there. Tonight's opportunity, like I said, Palatine, Illinois. I'll get right down to the numbers. It's a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, sitting on a slab, so no basement, and a 1-car detached garage. I would say this property is in fair to average condition. Average might be a stretch. It's definitely not above average. So fair to average condition. It is a Sears Lustrum style house, which means it's basically made of metal. It's a unique type situation or structure, but there are several of those types of properties in the immediate area, the same style of house, actually the same size. So just to run some quick numbers on this house, this one's had an addition put off the back, because typically when you buy these out of the quote-unquote Sears catalog 50 years ago, you'd get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, and you'd build a separate garage structure. This one in particular is a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and there are several in the areas I previously mentioned. I'm just looking at comps briefly on what I have available to me, and the lowest price sale in the last 2 years within about a 5-block radius of this property, which I'm honing this in pretty close. There's been 12 sales in the last 2 years within 5 blocks. This is not 5 miles. This is not half a mile. This is 5 blocks. I believe actually if you go a half a mile out, you've had about 60 or 70 sales. Very popular area. Very popular and desirable area for families looking to put their kids in good school districts and be in a low crime, great community type area, walking distance to nightlife and other opportunities. So the exact same house, except it only had 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. The exact same house sold almost 1 year ago today, October 7th, 2016, for $172,500. It was in similar condition, also needed work, also needed some rehab and some attention. I mean, I'm looking at the photos right now. You can probably hear me clicking. It's almost amazing how identical these properties are. But sold for $172,000, like I said, almost exactly 1 year ago. We're asking, and this is only available to our investors that network with us and the investors that listen to this podcast. We're asking $150,000 for this property. It's going to be a cash-only type sale. We're not going to be utilizing or working with any buyers that do offer any type of financing. We may consider a hard money or a private type loan, but we're definitely not going to be working with like an FHA buyer or conventional type buyer, unless the price is right and the strategy, the loan, down payment, things like that all seem to add up. I'd have to do some research if you're interested in utilizing that type of funding. That said, the numbers just go up from there. Like I said, within 5 blocks, over the last 2 years, the lowest sale price, $172,500. We're asking $150,000. Then the prices basically jump: $182,000, $203,000, $205,000, $212,000. So looking at a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house in the same neighborhood, and again, ours is bigger. 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, 1 story. Also no basement, sitting on a slab in this same area, recently sold in June of 2017 for $220,000 in 10 days. Okay, so there you can see a $70,000 difference. We haven't even gotten to how much work this place needs yet. Scrolling through some additional opportunities, I've got one currently on the market, a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, no basement, with a 1-car garage, actually being offered up as a rehab build up, build out. Not sure what they mean by that, by both of those, build up or build out. Well, I guess pop the top or add on to it, or tear down to build your dream home, because new construction homes are across the street and what they call Palatine's trifecta, which is one of the best elementary schools, the best junior high in the area, and the best high school in the area. So this is a great area for a builder who wants to knock down and rebuild. It's a great opportunity for an investor who wants to just rehab the house and resell it for, the mid 200 range. They're currently asking $259,000, and this place is beat up. This place needs work. So we're talking about an opportunity here where we're possibly $100,000 below what the market could be set at for a house that is bigger than what this comp is. Now, granted, it's on the market right now. I hope I said that correctly. It's on the market. It's been on the market for 4 months at $259,900. So there's a chance that maybe there's some overpriced there. I'm just giving you guys some examples. Got a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, closed for $268,000. It's, like I said, it's got that same 3rd bedroom. It's about equal in square footage. Similar type of area. They've got some new updates to that property. They got new siding, windows, washer dryer, new garage door, updated plumbing, and a water heater. Again, so this house, I would consider this one to be an average to a partial rehab. I'm just flipping through pictures. I can see they didn't redo the flooring, but they threw a coat of paint on things. They left the original cabinets, but they threw granite on top. Kind of a half rehab, and it's sold for $268,000 in April of 2017. Again, I'm offering up a wholesale opportunity for $150,000, and there's a comp that's actually got 1 less bath, same square footage, that's been rehabbed, that sold for $268,000. So you guys can run your own numbers. I say this property needs probably $30,000 worth of work. I mean, again, it's hard for me to really pin a strong number on that compared to what you as the investor and buyer want to put into a property, because everyone, it's all in the eye of the beholder. Everyone watches their HGTV shows and comes up with their own paint colors and remodels and whatever. But again, I think this is a great opportunity for an investor. Here's one, and I hate to just read off the internet here, but I need to show you guys audibly how this is a great opportunity. Here's one again, right down the street. It's listed, and again, it's not sold, so I'm not gonna blow any smoke up anybody here, but it's been on the market for a month. It's listed at $315,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. It's 1,400 square feet, so it's a little bigger than our than our house that we're trying to wholesale, or we are wholesaling right now. Ours is about 1,250 square feet. Attention builders, investors, rehab professionals. Build your dream home on nearly a half-acre lot or rehab it. Fantastic location and award-winning, top-ranked school districts, minutes to downtown, to the Metro train station. Oh, I forgot to add that in there. It's right off the train station, this property, our subject property that I'm describing tonight. Minutes to shopping and restaurants. Easy interstate access, sold as is. This one's actually a 1.5 story. It's like a Cape Cod style. Also has an addition. Again, not too far out of the question. Currently listed for $315,000. We're selling a house for less than half that. $150,000 will get you in this great area with other comps in the mid to high mid $200,000 range for $150,000. Yeah, it's going to need some work. Yeah, it's a Sears Lustrum house, which if you're not familiar, Google it. It's basically a house made of metal, a little unique, but from what I'm seeing here on the comps, they're still selling for the numbers I'm giving you. I'd put a solid comp number on this property of $250,000 after repaired, give or take, a little bit, because a lot of these comps aren't even remodeled fully. So if you're going to make this property nice and put that $30,000 in it and actually do a nice rehab, I wouldn't doubt if you can get a little bit more. That said, this is a great opportunity. If you're interested in this property or anything else we have in inventory, or curious what we have in inventory, please feel free to email me, joe@tanisgroupllc.com. That's joe@tanisgroupllc.com. This property is going to go quick. We've got multiple investors. Actually, we do have an offer we're negotiating right now. We haven't accepted it yet. It's from a potential builder. You know who you are if you're listening. We haven't actually signed on the dotted line. We're looking to offer this out to all of our investors. So if you're interested in it, please contact me. And that'll conclude today's episode of the Investor Empowerment Series radio show, episode number 63. Special thanks to our new sponsors at Priority One Mortgage. Again, you can contact them if you're interested in getting great low-rate investor financing with, I've got a list of all the opportunities they provide for investors. There's literally like 20 different loan programs they can offer depending on what your structure is, what your strategy is for investing. You can contact them by visiting them on the interweb at www.p1mc.com. That's P as in Paul, 1 the number, M as in Mary, C as in cat.com. And you can call them at the office, ask for Gary, 847-717-9005. Tell them Joe Mueller sent you. Until next week, good luck investing. Let me know if I can help in any way. All right, see ya.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Investor Empowerment Series radio show. Be sure to tune in next week for another empowering episode. We welcome your feedback, so please rate us on iTunes and Stitcher, and visit us at www.investoремpowermentchicago.com or tanisgrouprealty.com.